Since our son has been working with Miss Megan, we have noticed huge progress. Just the other day, he said to me, "Mom, now every time I see a word, I try to read it." It's like he couldn't even believe it, and that is huge to us. Thank you so much, Megan. Thank you, Dyslexia On Demand. We are so happy with everything that he's learning with you. Thank you.
The reason I went with Dyslexia On Demand and their dyslexia therapy instead of just tutoring or any of the other programs or relying on the school to get him caught up to speed is because my son, now 13, was diagnosed between his 6th and 7th year of school, so between 6th and 7th grade. And I knew that there was a lot that he had learned to kind of compensate for on his own that needed to be undone. And I needed some experts to be able to help him lay the foundation and walk him through the tools of how to master dyslexia on his own moving forward. And it's been a fantastic experience so far. Why would I recommend Dyslexia On Demand to other parents? A number of different reasons. First, the fact that it's all online, it's on Zoom. So you can live here, we're in Austin, Texas, where I live not far away from where Dyslexia On Demand is headquartered, or you can live in any United State, or you can live in any province in Canada, or really anywhere around the world. And so that's number one. Number two, because it is online via Zoom, I would imagine that it's much easier to take advantage of scheduling into a schedule that works well for you and your child, rather than just, during school hours or on specific days only. So there's a lot of flexibility there when you're working with a program that this is all they do and their goal is to work with you. What difference has Dyslexia On Demand made for my child? Well, my son was between 6th and 7th grade when he was finally diagnosed with dyslexia. And I'll tell you what, he loved school. He loved going to school from, kinder all the way up until about the beginning of 4th grade, when everything turned into a word problem. Everything was about reading in order to understand and excel. And from 4th through 5th, and definitely through 6th grade, school became more of a burden for him and was less enjoyable, to the point that he didn't even want to go to school anymore. And that broke my heart, because he loves social. He loves, friends and participating in class and all of that. And it was heartbreaking to me when his 5th grade teacher told me at the end of the school year that, I should just kind of wrap my head around the fact that he was just going to struggle in school. And that was not okay for me. That was not acceptable to me. When I met up with Megan Pinchback and Dyslexia On Demand, and they did an evaluation, I started immediately with the dyslexia therapy. And as a matter of fact, just because of COVID, I went ahead and I pulled my son out of school altogether to homeschool this year. So not even remote learning with the school district, just homeschooling altogether. And a big, huge chunk of our week is Dyslexia On Demand, dyslexia therapy. And with not even one full school year complete, I can tell you that his confidence has gone through the roof. I've been able to listen in on their therapy sessions, and I can hear his fluency in reading has skyrocketed. His ability, just in regular conversations with me or when we're reading, his ability to comprehend and then retell or even write down what he has learned, either audio or visual, it's extraordinary. It's like 2 to 3 years worth of education advancement for him in just the course of not even one full school year. So based on the success of what Dyslexia On Demand has been able to provide for my son, who's a 7th grader now via homeschool, we've decided to go ahead and keep him home from school for one more year, like unplugged from the district, so that he can really not only maintain where he's at, but get ahead, so that when he starts high school, he's a whole new boy.
We have so many great things to say about Dyslexia On Demand. Just living outside of Chicago, my daughter's in 3rd grade, and we started feeling that she was having some struggles with her fluency, her decoding, and phonemic awareness. And now that she's exited the primary grades and entered more into the intermediate grade levels, as a reading specialist, I'm noticing that these are some areas that shouldn't be as much of a struggle for her. and it led us to wondering what's going on. So we do appreciate all the support and research that Dyslexia On Demand has provided my daughter with her therapy services, but also for me as a parent and how I can best support her as well. It's made her much more confident in herself and her abilities as a reader, and I'm certainly seeing some of the work that they're working on in therapy transfer into her everyday reading. I would certainly recommend Dyslexia On Demand to other families. And instead of tutoring, I think that this program offers a more intensive intervention that I think will help our daughter be most prepared as she enters to the middle grades and beyond. And we just hope that her confidence continues to grow and that it will help her become more successful as a learner overall.
This is Alyssa and Mr. Barrett Stone. Barrett, how old are you?
I'm 11.
11. I am Barrett's mama, and Barrett has dyslexia. He was diagnosed in 2nd grade, and he is now in 5th grade. I knew there was some issues going on even in kindergarten. We've had lots of testing in 2nd grade, so he was finally diagnosed. The treatment they had for him in the public school system was speech and very frustrating things. Barrett, how did you feel the school treated your dyslexia?
It was really super hard for me, but I went through it, and it was really super hard to read some paragraphs, and yeah.
I knew there was some issues going on in the classroom. He wouldn't use his iPad devices. He felt very humiliated in class. A lot of his writing was rushed through, and I'm like, this looks like 1st grade handwriting. So I had some concerns, so we called an IEP meeting right before COVID, and they guaranteed everything's he's doing great progress. But Barrett was very frustrated. So we all got the shutdown. So even the first week of being super one-on-one with him, we did a lot of writing and summarizing, reading, and I knew this was a problem. Having children in younger grades, I knew where Barrett should be at. So I got online and I found Megan at Dyslexia, and I was very hesitant. I didn't know the difference between speech therapy and language therapy with a, online therapist. I was hesitant on it all, but, I'm like, we've got to do something. So I talked it over with the family, I talked it over with Barrett, and then we were so blessed to be put with our tutor, Miss Candy, a good year now. So if you're familiar with MAP scores, Barrett has almost grown 20 points in a year, or a half a year, because we haven't even did our spring testing. They have done great wonders. Barrett's reading comprehension, writing, everything, he's almost at grade level now. I can't even tell you what this does as a mom. Barrett, how do you feel like it's changing your writing in school?
It's helping me a lot because the tutor helps me, and they do all these sounds and stuff every time, and then we have these fun games with the cards and stuff.
And do you like doing Zoom with Miss Candy? Do you feel like that's a barrier?
Yeah, it's really super fun.
No, we have a very close relationship with our tutor. I like that we check growth. They come to IEP meetings. I can't say enough. They've saved my son. I mean, he's almost at grade level. He's not having the anxiety anymore. I have to say Megan has helped us through this process very professionally. I love him, and I really like how his dyslexia isn't with sight, it's with sounds. So with the therapy, it's, training his brain to really pick apart the words and hear them. So even on spelling words in class now, the teacher has made huge points of him breaking apart words. He's doing great, and I'm forever thankful, and this is a gift that I am so glad I've given you. Even some days are not easy, but Barrett's working really hard. If the kid is working hard and wants to accomplish it. I mean, we have the data with our MAP scores, and our DRA level has improved. We've made huge gains, like almost a 3-year gain in less than a year. And I'm forever grateful, and I love you, Megan, and I love you, Candy, and I love everything about this, and we thank you so much. Yeah?
Yep.
The biggest difference Dyslexia On Demand has made for my child is her ability to read. We started Dyslexia On Demand during COVID to supplement instruction that she was missing during school. We really didn't know what we were looking for, and we searched around and we found this program. Started it again, not really knowing what to expect. And my daughter is a 2nd grader and was reading at a pre-kindergarten level. She was considered a non-reader, wasn't able to read sight words. She wasn't able to decode words. And just within a few months of Dyslexia On Demand, we could see her growth tremendously. And now we see it daily, weekly. Her dad and I are just blown away every time we watch her after a lesson read her sight words. So again, the biggest difference Dyslexia On Demand has made for her is her ability to read, and really growing her reading strength daily. I would recommend Dyslexia On Demand to other parents because before Dyslexia On Demand, I didn't really know what reading instruction was supposed to look like as a parent and as an educator. My daughter had been receiving services through her school district, and again, we didn't see much growth. We did some research and found Dyslexia On Demand on the internet, and it was during time of COVID, so she was already doing on like distance learning through her school, so we had the time. And now we know what proper intervention looks like. We know what proper reading instruction looks like for a child with dyslexia. And it's really helped me as a parent to know how to advocate for her, to know what she needs, because I've seen it and I see her do it every day. I see the growth she's making in such a short amount of time. And it's really the most incredible thing that we could have stumbled across during this time. So I couldn't recommend it to other parents more. It's really been the biggest difference in her education. And again, us as advocates, even knowing what she needs and how to help her grow. When we first started Dyslexia On Demand, we didn't realize that we were looking or seeking for therapy versus a tutoring program. Living in California, we don't have a lot of dyslexia resources, so we didn't really know what we were looking for. We didn't have a great reference of what she needed, but we knew that we needed to supplement instruction, and we were so thankful to find it online through Dyslexia On Demand. The therapy, we had done tutoring previously since she was in kindergarten, a lot of flashcards and just trying to memorize things, which never worked for her. So now that she's in therapy, she really has so many great fundamentals. She's remembering the rules. They work at her pace, and it's been such a blessing for her.
I want to start off by saying that I cannot recommend Dyslexia On Demand more. I actually have 2 of my children working with the therapist through Dyslexia On Demand. We've worked with them since the beginning. When I suspected that my girls might be dyslexic, all the way through where they are today in their treatment. When we first started, I was completely lost, completely spiraling out of control. I did not know what to do, and I was not getting straight answers from the school. I didn't feel like the tutoring that they were providing was actually helping my girls in the right direction, giving them the tools that they needed to be successful. And so I started Googling it, and as a mom who was overanalyzing everything, I actually found the Dyslexia On Demand website and reached out, and immediately I started to feel better. They helped me to understand from an identification standpoint what I needed to be looking for. They helped me through the emotional roller coaster that I was going through. They helped me understand how to get the proper diagnosis with both of my girls. They helped me as far as understanding the system and understanding how to get that system to work for me. And that was all before treatment even began. What we were receiving before was dyslexia tutoring. And since we've started working with Dyslexia On Demand, my girls are both in the Take Flight program. There's been, oh my gosh, and it's an earth-shattering difference when you compare the two of those. It has just done wonders for my girls, not only in their ability to read and understand things better and not have that level of confusion, but also in their confidence. It's just been a huge change watching them no longer struggle like they were and to feel like they weren't different than the other kids. It has just been one of the best decisions we've ever made.
Take Flight is a great program because it's rules-based, it's multi-sensory. Megan is a great person to deliver it. She's enthusiastic, she instills confidence in her students. She has been a joy to work with, and this program has been a game changer for our daughter. We highly recommend Dyslexia On Demand.
We decided to use Dyslexia On Demand over the summer of COVID for my son, who we were starting to see some red flags in his writing and his reading and his spelling. And he didn't have an official dyslexia diagnosis yet, but we wanted to be able to give him the support that he needed over the summer. And it was so awesome to be able to just plug in and get him that support, because Megan has licensed therapists, cult specialists ready to go, and to be able to give him that support right away without having to find someone, coordinate them coming into the home, or us meeting up somewhere. We had the supplies we needed. We were ready to roll, and we were able to give him that support all summer long.
I relied on the school resources, and I did a little bit of tutoring when my daughter was in elementary. And if I knew then what I know now, dyslexia therapy is a game changer. She would be doing so much better emotionally and academically had she had dyslexia therapy.
The beard, okay. Bed. For the truck.
Yay!